Chapter 1. Then answered Eliphaz the Temanite, and said, Should a wise man make answer with windy knowledge, and fill his belly with east wind? Should he reason with unprofitable talk, or with speeches wherewith he can do no good? Yes, you doest away with fear, and impairest devotion before God. For your iniquity teaches your mouth, and you choosest the tongue of the crafty. Your own mouth condemns you, and not I. Yes, your own lips testify against you. Are you the first man that was born, or was you brought forth before the hills? Dost you hearken in the counsel of God, and dost you restrain wisdom to yourself? What knowest you that we know not? What understand you which is not in us? With us, both gray-headed and very aged men, much older than your father, are the consolations of God too small for you, and the word that dealeth gently with you? Why doth your heart carry you away, and why do your eyes wink? That you turnest your spirit against God, and lettest such words go out of your mouth. What is a man that he should be clean, and he that is born of woman that he should be righteous? Behold, he puts no trust in his holy ones. Yes, the heavens are not clean in his sight. How much less one that is abominable and impure, man who drinketh iniquity like water? I will tell you, hear you me, and that which I have seen I will declare. Which wise men have told from their fathers, and have not hid it? Unto whom alone the land was given, and no stranger passed among them. The wicked man travails with pain in all his days, even the number of years that are laid up for the oppressor. A sound of terrors is in his ears. In prosperity the destroyer shall come upon him. He believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. He wandereth abroad for bread. Where is it? He knoweth not the day of darkness is ready at hand. Distress and anguish overwhelm him. They prevail against him as a king ready to the battle, because he has stretched out his hand against God, and he behaveth himself proudly against the Almighty. He runneth upon him with a stiff neck, with the thick bosses of his bucklers, because he hath covered his face with his fatness, and made collops of fat on his loins. And he hath dwelt in desolate cities, and houses which no man would inhabit, which were ready to become heaps. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue, neither shall their produce bend to the earth. He shall not depart out of the darkness. The flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. Let him not trust in vanity, deceiving himself, for vanity shall be his recompense. It shall be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be leafy. He shall shake off his unripe grape as the vine, and shall cast off his flower as the olive. For the company of the godless shall be desolate, and fire shall consume the tents of bribery. They conceive mischief, and bring forth iniquity, and their belly prepareth deceit. All right, let's go back up. Verse 1. And today Eliphaz is responding. And Eliphaz, once again, he ain't got nothing. Now his words are getting a little more harsh against Job. Job finished yesterday. He was just making known that, a man, his days are just a few days on the earth, and all of his days is nothing but a hassle. He has to work and strive. He comes forth as a child only to grow up and have to toil and labor as a man to survive, even to eat, to drink. This becomes a great labor upon man even as he ages. But it's only because man considers these things. And this is what brings it upon him, his considerations of these things. And a man finds himself grieved by the flesh. The inner man does. This one who doesn't age. He doesn't age as fast as the flesh, and his weariness, his tiredness is brought upon him by the garment that he wears, even that flesh. We're going to pick it up here in verse 1 in Eliphaz. Eliphaz is that mighty one of fine gold, that the greatness of it. He is the Temanite, and that's those of the south, remember, those from the south, those of that down there, that parched land where they were made a witness before. Verse 1, and answered Eliphaz the Temanite and said, 2. Should a wise man make answer with windy knowledge and fill his belly with the east wind? Should a wise man make answer with windy knowledge or with a bunch of words that don't mean nothing? Fill his belly with the east wind? To fill up that his inner self with all the great enlightenment and understandings that come forth upon the earth? 3. Should he reason with profitable talk or with speeches wherewith he can do no good? Should he reason with unprofitable talk? A bunch of words. These words don't do no good. They're just words that go around in a circle, much like the words of Eliphaz. 4. Yea, you doest away with fear and impairest the devotion before God. You doest away with fear. You're trying to do away with this great fear, even the fear the flesh has, and impairing the devotion of God, coming against that, or causing it a little bit of strife, this devotion to God, or that even these devotions men have declared. I would call them these orders and these rules that men would put you under, say, oh, you have to do this to be humble before God, or you have to do this to show your devotion, or when all you have to do is listen to God and follow his law. 5. For your iniquity teaches your mouth, and you choosest the tongue of the crafty. For your iniquity, he's accusing Job right here, your perversions, these that teaches your mouth, these are the understandings that you're speaking. In other words, your stupidity is coming out of you, and you have chose the tongue of the crafty. Your tongue to even do the work of the crafty. Those that devise, they plan, they are crafty in their understandings, and with their words they bring forth this craftiness. 6. Your own mouth condemns you, and not I. Yes, your own lips testify against you. Your own mouth. He's accusing Job once again. He's saying your own words, Job, are condemning you. Your own words have made yourself known, and not me. I ain't the one doing it. Yes, your own lips testify against you. Your own lips, that's those two things that work. It's their witness against you when you speak and make known. See, but Job knows this isn't true. And Eliphaz, he's got the wrong understanding. 7. Are you the first man that was born, or were you brought forth before the hills? Was you the first man born, or are you the greatest man that ever lived? Was you created before the hills? Have you been here forever, and have you all the understanding of men? 8. Do you hearken in the counsel of God, and do you restrain wisdom to yourself? Do you listen in the counsel of God? Are you a pupil in the classroom of God? Do you restrain wisdom to yourself? Do you keep it for yourself? Do you hold it? Do you strain it down? Do you to refine it even to yourself? 9. What knowest you that we know not? What understand you which is not in us? So now Eliphaz is making the same statement Job has made several times. What do you know that we don't know? What do you got understanding of that we don't? 10. With us are both the gray-headed and the very aged, much older than your father. With us, and we would be talking about those that were sitting there. There's the gray-headed and the very aged, and these gray-headed, very aged. These of old, they are old. They have aged, and their hair, which is their glory, is making it known. It's turning white, and that white is in the representation of purity. As you get older, your understandings should be refined. And brought into a little bit more of a civil understanding. I would, in that aspect, we would look at it. But here we're finding that they believe that this is just an automatic thing, that as you get older, you automatically get all the understanding and knowledge. And they're claiming that there's those among them that are older than Job's father. The age of Job is not actually known. 11. Are the consolations of God too small for you, and the word that dealeth gently with you? Are the consolations, these comfortings of God, are they too small for you? And this word that dealeth gently with you, this because that is the word that dealeth gently with you, even we'll find out these understandings that come from God. 12. Why does your heart carry you away, and why do your eyes wink? Why does your heart carry you away? Why are your understandings carrying you away? This heart. Why is this inner self carrying you away? You're not listening, see. And why do your eyes wink? They're battening in doubt. See, this is to bat your eyes in doubt. Like you're already off in some other thought. You're no longer listening, see, and you already got your own ideas and your own response already beginning in your mind. 13. That you tarnished your spirit against God, and let such words go out of your mouth. That you turn your spirit against God. Well, Eliphaz here is making a direct accusation. He's saying, you're turning all your understandings against God, or at least these things that they considered of God. I mean, this would be all the aspects of it that may not be directly associated with the understanding of God. I mean, there's a lot of practices that go on that have come in from sources outside God's understanding over many, many years. See, and these words, they go out of your mouth by making it known when you speak these things. You're turning your spirit against God, but not really. That's not what Job's doing. What Job is his understanding is slightly indifferent to Eliphaz's. 14. What is a man that he should be clean, and he that is born of a woman that he should be righteous? What is a man that he should be clean, and that is born of a woman? Well, man is just a flesh. A woman is that from man. It's an understanding that comes forth from the Father, that from man. And what is it that he should be righteous? What is it that he should be just? See, to be just, to be right. Can a man be clean? Can a man be right? By what understanding would it be? 15. Behold, he puts no trust in his holy ones. Yes, the heavens are not clean in his sight. God don't put no trust in his holy ones, in these that he sends for, his representatives. God don't put no trust in nobody. It's all the work of God. See, they do that for God, which is God commands. He doesn't put trust. He doesn't count on these things. God doesn't lean on anybody. The heavens are not clean in his sight, and these heavens are not clean. The heavens are not clean in his sight. Well, the greater understand, these things that are above, the higher understandings, all this that is over, in a sense of shining, in a sense to be polished in God's sight, or that which he perceives. They're still rough in their understanding. 16. How much less that is abominable and impure, man who drinketh iniquity like water. How much more is a man, that which is abominable and impure? He's flesh. Man who drinks iniquity, perversions, like it's water, like it's some kind of understanding, some kind of substance that's going to feed the soul, is the man sucketh up and drinks iniquity, perversions, distortions. They love them. 17. I will tell you, hear you me. That which I have seen I will declare. I'll tell you, says Eliphaz. Listen, and that which he has seen, all these things that he's an old man, he will tell you what he knows. 18. Which wise men have told from their fathers, and have not hid it? Who is the wise man who their fathers taught, and they have made these things known? We'll find out. There's none. 19. Unto whom alone the land was given, and no stranger passed among them. Unto whom alone was the land given? These wise men in this land we're talking about is the land of understanding, knowledge. It's the kingdom of God. See, there's no man that passed among them. Why? No one has ever had understanding and knowledge. 20. The wicked man travails. with pain all his days, even the number of years that are laid up for the oppressor. And the wicked man travails. The wicked man is in anguish with pain. He is in constant sorrow all his days, all the days of under the sun. And we'll find out the wicked man, he travails, he labors in pain, and even in his understandings. Even the number of years that are laid up for the oppressor, this number of years, these reckoning of years, the recording of it, that's laid up for the oppressor, so that like there's a determined amount of time set aside for the oppressor. This one who comes against, this one, God said 6 days you do your work. 6 days you're going to do your work. These would be this number of years. 21. A sound of terrors is in his ears, in prosperity the destroyer shall come upon him. A sound of terror is in his ears. There's always this understanding of trouble awaits around the corner. This prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. When things are good, when things are going good, he feels everything's just getting a little sun in his life. We'll find out. The destroyer comes, takes that little he has gathered up. 22. He believes not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword. He don't believe that he's going to return out of this darkness. He believes this is the place where he will dwell. This is his home. This is the life. This is the end. He has no understanding of anything else. He is waited for of the sword, and this is for the destruction. He wandereth abroad for bread. Where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at his hand. He wanders abroad for bread, looking for substance, looking for nourishment. He is a hungry. Where is it? Where's he going to find it? Who will find out? It's in the mercy of God. Who knoweth the day of darkness is ready at his hand? He already knows that this day of darkness, this understanding even, this day of dread is ready at hand, is already in the works. 24. Distress and anguish overwhelm him. They prevail against him as a king ready to the battle. Distress and anguish overwhelm him. He is in distress, anguish. He is hungry. He has got nowhere. Where can he find food? Where can he see this would be a great distress. The king ready to the battle, just like a king ready to the battle. This distress that he would be in, well, not knowing whether you're going to live or die. 25, because he has stretched out his hand against God and behaves himself proudly against the Almighty. It's because he has stretched out his hand, his works. See, he has done that. That's against God. He has went the wrong way. He chose death instead of life. See, in the beginning, God, it's a free will decision. God's not going to make you do the right thing. You'll have to choose it for yourself. He behaves himself proudly against the Almighty by choosing deceit over the truth. 26. He runs upon him with a stiff neck, with the thick bosses of his bucklers. He runs upon him, or he leaps, jumps, darts, jumps upon him with a stiff neck. With a stiff neck, he made himself already rigid and tough and hardened himself against God. And he comes against him with the thick bosses of his bucklers. And this is the thick rim. This would be the edge of the shield. 27. Because he hath covered his face with his fatness and made collops of fat on his loins. And why? It's because he's covered his face with fatness. He's covered these things that are made plain with this fatness, all the rich, all the wealth, all the greatness we can see. We'll find out this is not the real wealth of life. He's made collops fat upon his loin. Much fatness on his loins. That's that which descends into the lower. See, these understandings that come from above and they descend into our flesh are made known. Much collops. These would be rolls of fat upon his loin. 28. And he hath dwelt in the desolate cities, in houses which no man would inhabit it, which were ready to become heaps. And he dwelt. He dwells in these desolate cities. These cities that are made desolate, these places that have a guard, they're worthless. These are the houses which no man would inhabit or should inhabit, which are ready to become heaps. These are high places. These are places where men go in ignorance even. Places of ignorance. 29. He shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue, neither shall their produce bend to the earth. He shall not be rich. He ain't never going to have any great understanding. That's the true wealth of life, see. It's not the gold and silver that men make known. They think they gather great wealth to themselves. But all of it couldn't buy them 1 ounce of understanding if they sought it out. Neither shall his substance continue. These things that he's got, because we'll find in the end, truth and righteousness and justice will prevail. Neither shall their produce bend to the earth. There's this great substance of the earth. It's not going to do no good. It's just not going to do no good in the earth. 30. He shall not depart out of darkness. The flame shall dry up his branches, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. He shall not depart out of darkness. Darkness is the negative. See, light being positive, we can see. Darkness being negative, we cannot see. Fear, all the understandings of that, which would be associated with darkness. See, he shall not depart out of that. He shall not depart out of the fear of not understanding. The flame shall dry up his branches. This flame, that's always the judgment of God, judgment. Shall dry up his branches, and dry up his branches, burn off that which comes forth from the tree. See, these branches, a tree is that which exalts itself, and its branches are that which goes forth to bear fruit. The flame shall devour those branches. By the breath of his mouth shall he go away. By the breath of God. And the breath of God is just that what God has already set forth in the earth. It's already done. It's an automatic thing. Let him not trust in vanity, deceiving himself, for vanity shall be his recompense. Don't trust in vanity, all this uselessness, all this wastings of time, deceiving himself. That's what a wicked man does. That's what an ignorant man does. These are things a thief does, thinking he's going to gather up great wealth, has no understanding what he's doing, breaking the law, deceiving himself, thinking he's going to get by with this somehow. Vanity shall be his recompense. It's a waste of time. It's nothing. He puts all of his money in a bag that's got holes in it. He goes out and wastes it, blows it in his ignorance. And it shall be his recompense. That's his just reward, see. That's his just reward. He has none. 32. It shall be accomplished before his time, and his branch shall not be leafy. It shall be accomplished before his time. Before he dies, he shall understand these things, that it was all just a waste of time. There was no real profit in it. His branch shall not be leafy. It's not going, it's withering. It's withering, and no leaves are coming forth on it come spring. See, no buds were upon it, and there it withers to die. 33. He shall shake off his unripe grape as the vine, and shall cast off his flower as the olive. He shall shake off his unripe grape, like a wind that's heavily shook it, plucked off before it's ripe, eaten while it's bitter. He shall cast off his flower as the olive. Well, before the olive comes forth the flower, but now there's other things that can cast off the flower before the olive appears. See, there could be frost. There could be trouble that entered in. Wind blew, great storms, hail, anything could beat the flowers off the tree before they were pollinated, before the olive had a chance to come forth. 34. For the company of the godless shall be desolate. The fire shall consume the tents of bribery. For the company of the godless, for the company of the hypocrites, I believe the King James Version says here, the congregation of hypocrites. These, they talk all about God, and then they go forth. They think they can just constantly violate the law. The earth makes it known. There's no understanding. There's no teaching of the law in the earth. These go forth in constant struggle, constantly striving. This fire shall consume the tents of bribery. And the fire does consume the tents. We should say the fire does consume the tents of bribery. And bribery here is more like it's a deceitful reward, present, something that was received unlawfully. 35. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity, and their belly prepareth deceit. They conceive mischief. They think up these mischief things, and they bring forth perversions upon the earth, and their belly prepareth deceit. And that's their inner things. They mean to trick. They mean to do evil. That's what their intent is, see. And the wicked, they have no understanding of anything. But nobody offers it to them. They go forth. That's what that breeds it. That's what brings it forth, because everybody breaks the law of God when God said, "You shall teach it to your children." So it will be a perpetual ordinance. See, and it went undone, and this is what brought it upon them. It's not what you're doing; it's what you're not doing. We're going to move forward, chapter 16. Turn and return.